Welcome back to another show and tell. Today we're going to have a look at discs. This first one is an old monster. It's not the actual disk drive, it's just the disk platters itself. This is an RLO2, a 10 megabyte disk, removable disk. These were commonly used in the PDP line, mainly the PDP-11, and some of the earlier VAXs. I remember using these in the VAX 8650s as their console drive. I did have a PDP-11 at one stage that had two of these RLO2 drives in it, but I gave it away because they were too big. This one comes from a PDP-11. It's an RSM operating system installation disk. To open these, you slide this and tilt the lever up, and then it'll come away from the supporting tray. You may be able to see in there the platter that holds the 10 megabytes of storage. And if you don't slide the thing across, then it just acts as a handle, so you can take it away. Next up is an RD53, which is a 71 megabyte MFM drive, commonly seen in the Microvax 2 or VAXstation 2000. The RD53 was generally too small to install VMS on. It was a very tight fit, and they were usually used for paging disks or small things like that. The RD54 was the more common drive seen in those machines, just because of the amount of space they had. You can see an RD54 in my VAXstation 2000 video. This one's come out of a Microvax 2 because it's got the Microvax 2 mounting plate on it. Next up are the SCSI disks that came with the VAXstation 3000 series machines. The RZ22, which was 52 megabytes, the RZ23, which was 104 megabytes, and the RZ24, which was 208 megabytes. As with the RD53, the RZ22 is too small to put VMS on, so it's used as probably a paging disk for satellite or network boot machines. The 23 was the most common drive in the early VAXstation 3100s, and 24 if you needed a bit more storage. If you wanted a bit more storage in your VAXstation or your Alpha workstation, then these three drives were the way to go. Got the RZ26, which is a 1 gig drive, the RZ28, which is a 2 gig drive, and the RZ29, which is a 4 gig drive. The RZ26 is the largest drive that you can put in the VAXstation 3100 if you want to boot off it. So a lot of VAXstations have been upgraded to at least an RZ26 for the boot, and then potentially one of these drives for the secondary drive. These are all the standard 50-pin SCSI 2 connection. These two disks are part of the StorageWorks system, which is a method of easy installation, hot plug, that sort of thing. This one is the RZ26, which is the 1 gig drive again, and this one is a 9 gig drive. The interface varied on these. Some were narrow SCSI, some were wide SCSI, some were wide differential. It certainly made disks easier to plug in with this form factor. They all have a standard connector on the back. Now we move on to the DSSI disks, which are used in the Microvax 3000 and 4000 series. This one is the RF30, which is 150 megabytes. It's enough to install the operating system on. This one is an RF31, which is a 380 megabyte drive, 5¼ inch. This one's still got the mounting rails for the Microvax 3400 attached. And the last one, this is an RF35, which is 852 megabytes and a 3½ inch drive, so getting closer to the normal size that we know. Take note of the 5-pin power connector on DSSI drives. I believe the extra one is for UPS or some sort of power management system. DSSI being a DEC proprietary system, they couldn't just rebadge other manufacturers' drives. They had to produce their own control boards, so you can see these deck labelled parts on these. Anyway, that's it for today. I hope you found that interesting, and we'll catch up with you next time.